Yo, what is going on, guys? UFC 323 is this weekend. It is the final pay-per-view, not just of the year, but with UFC's deal with ESPN. It's the end of the pay-per-view era, the ESPN era. A lot of final things with this one. Well, I guess it's not the final. It's not the end of the ESPN era. There's still one more event left next week, which we got to look forward to. But yeah, I'm excited. So let's get right into this final card. Starting off with the first card of the night, we got Muhammad Naimov versus Myron Santos. Man, this one's kind of tricky. Muhammad Naimov's coming off of a decision win against Bogdan Grad, who just got TKO'd by Luke Riley 2 weeks ago. His last loss was to Felipe Lima, who's at 135 now. He's not that big, and I believe this is actually Myron. Oh my goodness, Myron Santos's first fight at featherweight. If not, it's definitely in the UFC. I swear his last two fights. His last fight was against Cedric Yusuf, and that was at 155, I believe. So it's cool that he's going down. I think he's gonna have a power advantage over Muhammad Naimov. Think he'll be able to defend most of the takedowns. I think Muhammad Naimov is gonna be able to sneak a takedown or two because he does have pretty good pressure and a pretty good pace. His grappling's not the greatest, but it is pretty solid. He's actually pretty well-rounded. But I just think Myron Santos is going to be the much more efficient fighter with his shots. I think he'll be able to defend takedowns, look good most of the time against Muhammad Naimov. And I think Myron Santos is going to get either a split decision or a unanimous decision. I'm going to go Myron Santos 29-28 decision here. But I wouldn't be too shocked if Muhammad Naimov squeaks out a win here. Moving on to the next fight of the night. We got Mansur Abdul Malik versus Antonio Tarcoli. I'm going to go Mansur Abdul Malik. Nothing. he hits like a truck, man. This dude hits very hard. I believe he's knocked out every single one of his opponents or finished every single one of his opponents. His last fight was overturned. It was against Cody Brundage. I believe it was like back to the head shots. And Antonio Tarcoli's last opponent, I believe, who was his last opponent? Was it Bullet? No, it was Trishan Gore. Yeah, it was Trishan Gore. I believe he got guillotined. But before that, he was finished by Shara Magomedov. I think Shara Magomedov is more technical than Mansur Abdul Malik, but I think Mansur Abdul Malik definitely hits harder. I think this dude is a problem at the middleweight division. And I think he's going to TKO Antonio Tarcoli in the second round, or just finish him in the first round with a left hook. I think I'm going to call it left hook. Drops him. Maybe he does some ground and pound and the ref stops the fight. But I think I'm going to go with Mansur Abdul Malik. First round. Or no, not first round. Second round. TKO. Moving on. We got Iwo Baranowski versus Ibo Aslan. This guy's not 1-0. He's 6-0 with all finishes. And Ibo Aslan, all 14 wins are knockouts, I believe. I believe all 14 of his wins are by knockout. But he just lost to... Was it Billy Alicana or was it Ion Cutelaba? I know he lost to both of them, but I just forget which one. I just forget the order of the two. I know he got finished by Ion Cutelaba, and then he got kind of owned, like 30-27 by Alicana. Oh my goodness. Alicana, I believe is how you pronounce his last name. I don't think either of those guys are good, though, and I think Iwo Baranowski, he's well-rounded, he's present, he has good pressure, I believe he has 4 knockouts or 4 TKOs, one of the two. I think he'll be able to get it done. His defense does scare me, and the power of Ibo could be there. So, this fight should be pretty interesting, but I'm going to go Iwo Baranowski to get this one done. Ground and pound, round 2. That's my pick for that one. Moving on to the next fight. Ignore that. Jalen Turner is back. He retired this year in March. He put himself in the guillotine against Ignacio Bahamondes. Excuse me. But he put himself in the guillotine by Ignacio Bahamondes and he didn't throw the fight. Sorry, he didn't throw the fight. But he made a bad decision and lost the fight to Renato Moicano. Before that, knocked out King Green, Bobby Green, pretty badly. And when it comes to Edson Barboza, he's back at lightweight. He was looking really good at featherweight for a little bit. Then he lost to Sadiq Youssef. Sorry, he beat Sadiq Youssef. He lost to Lerone Murphy. He just lost to Jakar Close, and that's a bad loss in my opinion. That's a terrible loss for him. He looked slow. He didn't look good at all. And I don't rate Jakar Close at all. I think Jalen Turner is going to be there with his rangy weapons. Jalen Turner is really good, guys. His record does not give him credit. He just does not have a good fight IQ, and he doesn't make the best decisions all the time. But man, he's really there. He's really well-rounded, and I think he'll be able to find the finish. I'm gonna choose round 2, but he's fast, and his counters will just be there. And Edson Barboza's shots don't hit like they used to, and I feel like he's just getting slower. Barboza's like still kind of sharp, but I just feel like he's getting at that point where he's at the end of his career. And I just think this is a bad matchup too. This is not the greatest matchup in my opinion. Moving on next. Yeah, Jalen Turner, second round TKO. Maybe knockout. Cool, honestly. But we'll go Jalen Turner. Moving on. We're going to Marvin Vettori versus Bruno Ferreira. Marvin Vettori has not won a fight in like 3 years, guys. His last win was Roman Dolidze, and Roman Dolidze has beaten him since then. But I also don't think he's going to get finished, because this dude, he eats everything. So I'm going to go Bruno Ferreira. I'm going to go decision. I think he's going to 30-27 Marvin Vettori very badly. Marvin Vettori's defense. I do think Marvin Vettori is very hittable, so maybe this is the one who gets him out of there. Maybe this guy's the one who finally gets him out of there. Breaks that not knockout streak of his. Because I don't think he's ever been finished either. But I'm gonna go Bruno Ferreira. I think he's just too much for Marvin Vettori at this stage of his career. I just think he's too slow. He doesn't use his grappling as effectively. Bruno Ferreira has gotten chinned. I forget who chinned him, but Abus Magomedov did submit him. And that is kind of a problem, but I actually think Marvin Vettori just has zero danger everywhere the fight is. And I don't think that's a type of guy you want to be if you're fighting a guy like Bruno Ferreira, who's very dangerous everywhere the fight is, but can also get caught himself. So yeah, I'm going to go Bruno Ferreira, 30-27 decision. Beats the ever-living shit out of Marvin Vettori for 3 rounds. Maybe knocks him out and gets his TKO. Next. Moving on to the regular prelims. We got Nazim Sadikov versus Faris Ziam. This one's close, man. I was fence-sitting this one. I was fence-sitting this one for a little bit. I just could not decide, but I'm going to go Nazim Sadikov. Like, Faris Ziam's very good. He has very good range, and he's very technical, but he's kind of like the Leon Edwards, where he's very just too technical at points, and he'll not have the best volume. His last fight, he did get a knockout over Matt Frevola, but I don't rate Matt Frevola high anymore. High more at all, honestly. And I think Nazim Sadikov has momentum on side. He did lose, or didn't lose. He had that draw to, what was it, Vyacheslav Borishev. And that draw has not aged the best. He's coming off the crazy fight with Nicholas Moda. I was thankful for that fight, actually. And I'm actually going to choose him to win this fight. I think he's going to get it done in the 3rd round. I think he's going to be in... I think he has the better power punches, the better powerful combinations. He has more finishing instinct, and I think he's going to be aggressive all 3 rounds. But Ziam could stay on the outside, maybe get a crazy counter shot, TKO, KO. We'll see what happens. But I think Nazim Sadikov's going to get this one done. 3rd round TKO. I'm going to say he gets it done with a body shot. Moving on. Next fight. Macy Barber versus Karine Silva. Oh, man. I'm going to go Macy Barber. I think she is just more physical. I think she has higher output, and I think that's the type of that's the type of determining factor to these types of fights, is just who has the higher output and more powerful looking output, and I just think Macy Barber has that. Karine Silva has a decent submission threat. Pretty decent submission threat. but I just wouldn't count it that high. I wouldn't put it all in the way. So I think Macy Barber's going to get this one done to the decision. I think she's going to be able to stuff some of the takedowns Korean Silva throws. I think she's going to be able to get in better positions. And I think she's going to take advantage of those positions a lot better. So yeah, I'm going to go Macy Barber. 30-27, maybe 29-28 unanimous decision. Yeah, moving on. Oh, this fight's going to be a banger. This fight's 50-50, by the way. This fight is 50-50, man. We got Terrence McKinney versus Chris Duncan. Man, chaos is... Oh my goodness, chaos. Jesus. Colby Covington must be in this one. I'm kidding. Terrence McKinney, jeez. Terrence McKinney is chaos, is what I'm trying to say. But that's the thing. He either wins his fights in like a minute or he loses his fights in a minute. But Chris Duncan does not have the greatest defense, guys. I've seen him get hit by quite a bit, but he's coming off some good wins. I think, oh my goodness. Sorry about that. Oh my goodness. This fight's so close. This fight's 50-50, but I'm going to go Chris Duncan to find the better shot. Oh. No. Yeah, I'm going to go Chris Duncan. I think Chris Duncan's going to get this one done. By decision, not decision, oh my goodness. TKO, first round. I think he'll be able to like find a crazy position. Maybe Terrence McKinney puts himself in danger too much and he just gets hit by, I'm going to say a right hook. Yeah, I'm going to say a right hook is going to hit him. He goes down and Duncan's going to take the back and either ground and pound or get a submission from there. So yeah, I'm going to go Chris Duncan, round 1 TKO. This fight's 50-50. One of these two will be getting knocked out in the first round, I'm pretty sure. And I'm going to I think it's going to be Terrence McKinney because I've seen it done too many times. So, moving on. This fight is also pretty close. Grant Dawson versus Manuel Torres. I'm going to go Grant Dawson by 30-27 decision. But the image of him getting dropped by Bobby Green with a jab will always be in my head. And Manuel Torres definitely hits pretty freaking hard. So, I don't know, man. I'm going to choose Grant Dawson to get this done by decision. I think he'll be able to grind it out and keep the pressure and stay on top of Manuel Torres for 2 rounds. Maybe find a submission in the third, but I'm going to play it safe and say he gets this one done by decision. He's really good, but I've seen him get... He got like elbowed very bad, TKO'd earlier on in his career, and then not in his last one. Giving him some credit, it's been a little bit, but he got dropped like 2 or 3 years ago very badly by Bobby Green, and that's not a good loss right now because Bobby Green, unfortunately, is on like a 3 or 4 fight losing streak. So yeah, we're gonna go Grant Dawson, decision. Manuel Torres could definitely get it done though. His chin will be there to be hit by people from now on after seeing that. So we're gonna go Grant Dawson, like I keep saying. Moving on. Jeez. To open up the main card finally. Bogdan Guskov versus Juan. Oh my goodness. Jan Blachowicz. This one's pretty close too. Jan Blachowicz, former champion, first person to ever beat Izzy in MMA. Lost his title to Glover Teixeira like 3 or 4 years ago in October. His last win, who was his last win? Is it actually Rakic by that injury or whatever that happened in that fight? I think his last actual win is in 2022 to Alexander Rakic. Because then he had the fight with Magomed. That was a draw. Then he lost to Alex Pereira by decision. And then I think his last... Who was his last fight? I think his last fight was Carlos Alberg. Yeah, because he lost that fight by decision. That was earlier this year. Yeah, he lost to Carlos Alberg earlier this year. But man, he's actually still making some of these fights close. Like, that was a split decision with Alex Pereira. And I get that fight alone was like 2 or 3 years... It was like 2 years ago now. But that's still a close decision with Alex Pereira, man. Like, that's close. And Bogdan Guskov, he's coming off of a few KO wins, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he's coming off of that Nikita Krylov win. Nikita Krylov at one point was ranked very highly. He was like ranked number 5 or 4. I believe he beat Billy Elikana also earlier this year. I know he knocked out Ryan Spann last year. Who did he lose to? He lost to Volkan Oezdemir, I'm pretty sure. But that's like not a bad loss at all. And Volkan Oezdemir has shown that he still has it now too by beating some of these people. So I'm gonna go Bogdan Guskov to get this one done by decision. Jan Blachowicz is just he's like 42, guys. Like I'm pretty sure he's turning 43, which doesn't mean as much in the lighter weight classes, but sometimes you just have to be a little real. What Jan Blachowicz has looked like he's slowing down every little bit of his fights. That fight with Alberg was very close, but he just didn't do enough to win. And I don't think he did enough to win. I think Carlos Alberg barely did enough to win that fight. But I think maybe Bogdan Guskov's going to get this one done by a decision. I just think he'll be faster. Blachowicz's speed was always there, and his boxing's always been present. But other than that, I just don't know how good he's going to look, because we haven't seen him too much either the past few years. And we've seen Bogdan quite a few times since 2023, 2024. So he's on a 4-fight win streak too. So I'm gonna go with momentum on his side. Anthony Smith Jr. is gonna get this one done, and yeah, moving on. Sorry about that. Moving on, we have Henry Cejudo versus Peyton Talbot. Peyton Talbot's coming off of a bounce-back win against Felipe Lima. Felipe Lima's actually a good win, but he did just lose to Ronnie Barcelos, or Honey Barcelos, I forget how to pronounce it, but he lost to him in January. Henry Cejudo's coming off of 3 losses. He's coming off of losses against, it was Aljamain Sterling, it was a split decision, then he lost to Merab, then he just got eye poked. Something weird happened, but that fight with Song Yadong back in February. And he was actually he was making that as competitive as he was. He was barely losing some of the rounds, but he was still losing the fight when it was stopped. So I kind of get why they maybe just gave him that loss. I don't think Peyton Talbot truly did anything to deserve this type of matchup. It's not like he has a crazy resume. He has a few finishes, but he's coming off a decision win against someone who's pretty decent, but I don't rate too highly yet. I think Henry Cejudo's actually gonna get this one done though. He might. This might age badly for me. It'd be kind of funny if it does age badly for me. But I think Henry Cejudo's gonna be able to out-grapple Peyton Talbot. I've seen people say "What are you guys talking about? Peyton Talbot has good anti-grappling. Look at his fight." Who did they compare him to? They compared him to Reyes Cortez. Is that his name? Tracy Cortez's brother though. That's who they were comparing. That's who they're comparing the wrestling to, which I'm pretty sure he actually trains with Henry Cejudo, but I think Henry Cejudo is going to be able to get this one done. I think Henry Cejudo is one of the greater bantamweights. I'm not saying one of the greatest. I'm saying one of the greater bantamweights to ever do it. And I think he'll be able to find his last win right here, because I think he'll probably actually retire after this one. And I think he should, because I do think Peyton Talbot will eventually age to be a better fighter. But I don't think he's ready for the grappling of Henry Cejudo yet. If Henry Cejudo actually smartly uses his grappling, which I hope he does. Moving on to the featured fight of this card. We got Brandon Moreno versus Tatsuro Taira. I'm gonna go Brandon Moreno to get this one done by decision. Look, Tatsuro Taira, very good grappling, but that's the thing. He does not have striking. This guy does not have striking to save his life. And well, he does have striking to save his life. Maybe that's a bit too harsh, but I don't think he has great boxing or great striking even at all. His striking's okay, obviously. He's coming off of that what was it? A main event versus Hung Sung Park, I believe, where he got a face crank. He lost a split decision to Brandon Royval, but I thought Brandon Royval actually won that fight pretty dominantly. Not dominantly, but I thought he clearly won that fight. And his last win before that was Alex Perez, and Alex Perez, that was also a weird thing. That was a knee injury from a takedown or something like that. It was his knee popped while they were standing. I don't know how to describe it. It was weird. It's been over a year since that happened also. But he's coming off of on a bounce back win against Hung Sung Park, which I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't rate him good at all because he also just got. Did he not just get finished by Bruno Silva, who's not that great himself? Yeah, personally, sorry. Sounds like I'm being a bit of an a-hole talking about them like that, but that's just how it is, unfortunately. And Brandon Moreno has really good takedown defense. He's been only out-grappled by some of the better grapplers in the weight class, like Alexander Pantoja. He did lose a split decision early last year to Brandon Royval, who was the number one contender until like June of this year or July of this past year. But he also beat Davison Figueiredo, man. He beat him twice, too. And he beat some of the better guys, and I think he's just going to be too much for Tatsuro Taira. I think Tatsuro Taira is pretty good, going to be really good one day. I just don't think this is the right fight for him. He's 25. Brandon Moreno's going to be like 33, 32 very soon. And I just think the power difference is very apparent. I don't think Tatsuro Taira hits hard at all, and I think Brandon Moreno probably doesn't hit the hardest, but I think he definitely hits harder. He'll be able to scramble and fight this fight very smartly, and I think he's going to be able to take a win. So yeah, I'm going to go Brandon Moreno, 30-27, maybe 29-26, or 29-26, oh my goodness, 29-27 victory for him. But yeah, I think Brandon Moreno's going to get this one done. Moving on to the flyweight championship bout. We got Alejandro Pantoja versus Joshua Van. This fight's good, man. I'm going with Alejandro Pantoja. I think Joshua Van's great right now. His striking is great, sorry. He's on a 5-fight win streak. He got chinned by was that Charles Johnson? Charles Johnson like over a year ago. But then he's fought, like I just said, 5 times since then and has won all 5 times. Had that fight of the year with Brandon Royval. Has shut down some of the boxing of other people. This dude's striking's really mean, man. Like his striking's actually really good, which is a shame because I think Alejandro Pantoja is just gonna smudge him and not smudge him. I think he's gonna get to the body lock. He's gonna do his Pantoja thing for the first round, but I think in round 2 or round 3 he's gonna find a rear naked choke because Pantoja's been choked. Not Pantoja, my goodness, sorry. Joshua Van has been choked or rear naked choked before in his career. I get that's when he was early, but Pantoja's just the guy to study and put you in really bad positions where he knows you're not going to be the best at. And he himself has never been finished in his career. And he fights like a madman, so I'm going to go with Alejandro Pantoja getting this one done. Decision. Nah, not decision. Second round submission. Rear naked choke or should I? I'm gonna go Anaconda actually. Yeah, an Anaconda choke. Second round. Does a little 5 thing. Maybe does a crazy call out. Says a hard line. that's Alejandro Pantoja lifestyle. Unfortunately, I don't think Joshua Van will be getting this one done, but I do think he'll be back in the future, and there will still be hope for him because he's only 23 or 24 years old, which is insane. Moving on to the main event. Sorry about that. Moving on to the main event, we have Merab Dvalishvili versus Petr Yan. Man, this one's kind of tough, but it's actually not. I'm going to go Merab Dvalishvili getting his 4th title defense in one singular year. Their first fight, there's a lot of factors about their first fight. Yeah, 50 takedowns from Merab is one of the factors. 400 strike attempts. I think they both had broken hands, but Merab just dogged through it all 5 rounds. Yeah, I think Merab's going to 50-45 this guy again. Yeah, I'm not even lying, guys. I think he's going to 50-45 Petr Yan, or maybe I'm going to go 49-46. I think Petr Yan will be able to steal round 3, round 2, one of those ones, because he'll be able to sneak something, get a crazy trip. But I think the improvements have just been seen from Merab a lot more. Can you guys truly tell me something better that we've seen Petr Yan get at in the past 3 fights that he's won? I don't think he's actually visually gotten better. He's just fought I'm not trying to call them subpar guys because he fought Song Yadong, Davison Figueiredo, Marcus McGee. Marcus McGee's a little iffy and can't believe he's getting a title shot from that, but nobody for Merab to fight. This fight, he should have gotten the fight already. And their first fight was, yeah, the first fight was the first fight, not close at all, actually. I don't know why I was getting ready to say that. But first fight went to a decision, of course. But what I'm trying to say is I've seen the improvements from Merab just a lot more. His striking's looking crisp. He actually looks like he's getting some rhythm with his shots now. He's doing a lot more fight IQ, higher things. His chain wrestling's just going to be there, man. Like, his chain wrestling's going to tire Petr Yan out for 25 minutes. And I think, I mean, I'm not going to say he's going to find a submission against Petr Yan. I think Petr Yan's going to be smart. He's going to play safe, and I think he'll be able to be where he needs to be at the right time. But I don't think that's going to be enough. I think the activity is going to be there for Merab, and that's just going to be too much pressure. I'm going to go Merab Dvalishvili, 49-46 decision here. I like the way that sounds. I can already envision it. He's probably going to call out for another fight in April, but I want to thank Merab Dvalishvili for setting an example for MMA by being the only fighter to even attempt 4 fights in 1 year. Sorry, the only champion to attempt 4 fights in 1 year. That's insane. The name truly does him justice. He's crazy. And we love to see it. We love the activity, and I can't wait to see what happens for both these men after this fight. And yeah, that's my picks for UFC 323. That's the last pay-per-view of the card, guys. So that's exciting. We have this next pay-per-view card, the final pay-per-view. Oh, sorry, the final card of the ESPN era. It will be nice to watch that. I'm excited for UFC 324 and 325, even though the main events are a little bit to be desired or to be left. But yeah, guys, I hope you liked this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.